Let's dive into all of this right now. And welcome everybody to another episode of the Market Value Chart Show right here at 6 Scale Cantina. And this is the Market Outlook edition of the Market Value Chart Show. And rather than going ahead and doing my regular pre-recorded episode for this week with the Market Outlook edition, we are going live on this Labor Day. And I sure do hope that all of you are having a great Labor Day so far and have had a great Labor Day weekend thus far. It is absolutely my pleasure to be here with you today. Impromptu live stream, Market Outlook edition. Not exactly live and raw, but it's still early enough for me where I am drinking some coffee for sure. I bet some of you are, especially on the West Coast. Again, welcome to the Market Value Chart Show live, kind of a new series, if you will, kind of a new show, the Market Outlook edition live. So Market Value Chart Show live, I think we'll start doing this once in a while for sure. And it is absolutely my pleasure to be here with you. I don't have a whole lot of stuff with the family going on until later this afternoon and a whole lot this evening. So I was like, listen, why not? Let's go ahead and go live. And we sure do have a whole lot to discuss within the secondary market for Star Wars hot toys. And we have a ton to go over as far as potential for new Grails, or how some of these figures that are in stock or actually are on pre-order right now for Star Wars hot toys, how will they perform way down the line in the future when they eventually get in stock, go on wait list, and are within the secondary market for a year, 2 or 3. We're going to get into that in this episode. But before I do, let's go ahead and see everybody who's in here. We have got Pate Strick in the house. Listen, Peyton, what's going on? Aries, my friend, how are you? How are you? I hope you're having a great Labor Day. Pate Strick, great to have you in the house. And don't forget, Pate Strick has his own channel, everybody. So if you have not checked him out yet, go subscribe. He does some really cool stuff with hot toys for sure. And ladies, man, 727's in the house. What third-party figure are you most excited to get? Let me hold that up, ladies, man, but welcome here. We've got Barrett joining us. Hey, Aries. Hey, Barrett. Happy Labor Day to you. And Reximum Rex. Happy Labor Day, Aries. Reximum, happy Labor Day to you as well. We have Negan X Army. Listen, what's going on, brother? Thank you so much for joining me here today. Darth Silius. Oh, bell notification just went well. Catching it live in the UK. All right. Welcome. It is so great to have so many of you in here with this flash stream. Looks like we got single songwriter. Happy Labor Day, Aries and 6 Scale Cantina. Sincerely, from Dave F. in Massachusetts. Dave, thank you so much. I hope you're still, drinking some coffee or a decaf, or maybe you're on to lunch or whatever it is. For me, it's still regular coffee. And I think this is awesome. I love doing these shows live. Darth Drez in the house. It was great hanging out with some of you guys, including Darth Drez last night on the Geek It Out stream. That was a lot of fun to be back on there. We've got Devin in the house. This is awesome. Look, I thought it would be, my friend, to be able to come on with a Market Outlook edition of the Market Value Chart Show live. Absolutely. Chris V is in the house. What is going on, Chris? And Mitchell Meza. Hello, everyone. Happy Labor Day. Happy Labor Day to you as well. And my friend Fabio from Fob's Figures. Boy, wasn't that great to have Fabio on Live and Raw. I really had a great time with you, Fabio, on there. I know so many people on the Live and Raw from the other day. Really, really enjoyed having Fabio on. What a collection. What a collection Fabio has. And now he has his own channel, Fob's Figures. You absolutely have to go subscribe to that. He's going to bring a lot of value and a lot of insight into this community for sure. So great having him in here. Clayton is in the house. I have a fresh pot of coffee waiting to be spilled. Well, look, I got my little coffee container, which will keep it warm. And then I have the big one right here. So once I run out, I don't have to get up from this live segment. I can just keep going, baby. Joe Fuzz is in the house. Hello, everybody. Absolutely. Absolutely. And Fabio responded, yes, loved it. Always lots of fun. Absolutely. If it's not fun, what's the point of it, baby, right? What's the point? Dorikas Maximus in the house. Great supporter of 6 Scale Cantina. I'm fashionably late. Hello, King Aries. Don't worry. Don't worry, Dorikas. I do the same thing. Not on purpose, for sure. Oh, my goodness. It is so good to be with everybody over here. And listen, we have some market stuff to discuss. So absolutely chime in when you got some questions and whatnot, and we'll go ahead and try and address it as much as possible. But as we do with every Market Outlook edition of the Market Value Chart Show, let's go ahead and go to 6 Scale Cantina and 6scalecantina.com. If you don't have 6scalecantina.com bookmarked yet, you may want to consider doing so. It is a plethora of information. It is all the information you need when it comes to Star Wars hot toys within the secondary market for sure. We have a biggest mover section on the homepage, which shows you the biggest movers that particular day or week within the market. And then we have the market value chart, which shows you all the movers, whether they're trending up, whether they're trending down, or whether they're just steady, which a lot of them are. And when you have an arrow going up or down, that means that there's some significant movement. For sure. We got more people coming into the house. We've got NDN Sith in the house. What is up? Happy Labor Day to you as well. Absolutely. Negan asked, do any of the shipping problems we are hearing about factor into any of your analysis? Yes. When it comes to predicting when some of these figures may or may not hit a certain level, like when it comes to the heavy infantry Mandalorian, or when it comes to like a figure like IG-11, absolutely I factor that in when predicting and when trying to foretell what the future of the that particular figure is going to be within the secondary market. Now, Negan, we're going to be getting into a lot of that today within this Market Outlook edition of the Market Value Chart Show. So hang in there. And we got more people who keep coming on in. Boston Collectors, hey, hi, hello. Boston Collectors is another channel creator. Absolutely check him out. I was checking out his stuff. I've subscribed to his channel as well. So, and all of you should go check out Boston Collectors and check that out. But as you see, what I have on the screen is 6scalecantina.com. And let me go ahead and go to another screen so we can see that bigger. And remember, whenever you go to the market value chart, once you scroll down in it, there's arrows within the different columns. Go to the current value column, hit that arrow a couple times, and you'll get the highest ranked figures to the lowest ranked figures. That's what I have done already here. And that's one way to navigate this chart. Another way is you can just type in the search box the figure you're looking for, and it'll either have a dash, as you see under recent trends, or it'll have a down arrow, or it'll have an up arrow. And when you use it on your mobile or on your pad, all you have to do is just type in the figure, and then just you click on that one figure. It won't show you all this, but you'll be able to get one figure at a time, which is really, really cool for that one. You want to see the whole chart displayed, you're going to need your computer. You're going to need your computer for that. Anyway, let's get into this episode of the Market Value Chart Show and welcome everybody else who's starting to come in on this Labor Day. Again, I hope you're having a great Labor Day weekend, and I hope you're having a great Labor Day, and I hope this is a great surprise as I'm doing my regular morning coffee, and I hope that you're all are joining with me here. And especially some of you in the UK, on the West Coast, all over the world, my friends. But look at what's going on over here. Let's take a look, because I want to tie this into some of these figures and how that actually relates to how other figures on pre-order are going to perform once they go on waitlist and have some time to digest within the secondary market. So looking right here, you can see the first one on the list. You got Han and Chewie A New Hope. $900 and steady. The dash means it's steady. Now remember, whenever a figure shows on the market value chart at like 900, like this one here, okay, for Han and Chewie, that means that it's selling in the 700s, in the 800s, but it's also selling in the 900s and into the thousands. But that 900 is the average. So that is the average. So it's selling sometimes in the low 800s and sometimes in the low 1000s, to make a long story short. So whenever you see this and you're like, okay, that's what I should spend, if you exercise patience, now patience is the key. Well, if it's averaging 900, that means that, oh, I am going to probably have to spend 900 or 1,000. If you exercise some patience, that means you might be able to spend 800. Now, here's the game that you get into with this. And I'll bring this up because this is going to be a type of theme in here as well. A lot of times, I know for me as a collector, if I play that game where I'm going to exercise a lot of patience in the secondary market, it seems like you go weeks, sometimes months, trying to catch that low end, right? Some of you know what I'm talking about. You're like, oh yeah, I saw it sell. I saw that Hot and Chewy 2-pack sell for $780 or $800 or $750. I'm just going to wait for that, and then you wind up waiting, and then you see that it's selling. Well, there's another one 900. There's one 950. There's one 1100. But you just got to kind of, if you're looking for some of these, don't be anxious. You have a certain amount of budget that you're willing to spend. And sometimes that budget, can be like, oh, I was going to get the Han and Chewie 2-pack. I think I'll get Tarkin Vader. I think I'll just get the Mud Trooper. It evolves, right? Depending on what your commitment is in your own mind on what you want to get. But the budget usually doesn't change. So just stay within there and try and exercise some patience, because you can find deals. Remember, a value is just an average. All right. Hello to everyone else who is coming in here. Looks like that we have Doc Smizzle in the house. I want an old man Han. Wish I hadn't passed on him, but I can live without it. But I want to do the then and now photo I've seen some folks do. Well, welcome, Doc, in the house for sure. So great to have you here on this Labor Day weekend. We've got Jose Guerrero in the house as well. Welcome, Jose. We have got Noble Young in the house. So many that are coming on, and we already have 54. My goodness, I didn't know if I'd have 4 people in here today doing this so early. But let's go back to the market value chart and make it a little bit bigger. So let's look at some trends for Han and Chewie specifically. Then we're going to touch on Dark Side Anakin. We're going to touch on the Tarkin and Vader. But let me pull some stuff up for Han and Chewie. So here's a for instance, averaging $900. Here's Han and Chewie. And this is back just from September 2nd. Now, this is really just a few days ago. $832 with 31 bids. Now, not including the $40 in shipping and not including taxes. So well over $900, but $832, bare bones it went for. Great seller, over 600, close to 700 feedback, all 100% positive. So someone there did pretty good at $832 with what this is averaging. But let's go to another one. I'm pulling this recent auction up on the screen. And you can see back here just from the other day, $925.29 US, and not including the $70 in US shipping. So really, $70 is way too much for shipping. You can go ahead and take, $40 off on that. And this really went for like $970 within the secondary market, not including taxes. So you see, there is a balance. There are some that go higher and some that go lower within the secondary market. So you get an average. So it's very important to pay attention to the trends, and you can kind of be like, this is what I'm willing to spend. This is the average. I'm willing to go a little bit below it. I'd prefer to go a little bit below it, or as much below it as I can. I'm willing to go this much above it. You kind of evaluate what's been going on, and then you kind of jump on it when you think you can. I mean, how many of you, with collecting through the years, did the bidding stuff on eBay, and you have a certain price that you're willing to pay, and you actually put it in, and you think you're going to win it, someone outbids you. Sometimes you can get sucked into that as well, where you're like, well, I was willing to spend $900, but this one keeps overbidding me, and that one, I think I'll go $925. Oh, I'll go $950. Well, I'll go $1,000. Well, just be careful. Just be careful, because I don't just show auctions, which are very good. I also show the listings. And sometimes listings, I actually buy off listings. I'll contact the seller, see if there's any kind of, or if they may have a best offer. And sometimes it's worth it for me. I spent $50 more than what I thought. If it's a very reputable seller and I know I'm not going to have to return it, and I'm not going to have my heart sink in my stomach, that feeling when you guys get that collectible and you gals, and you're like, man, I just paid for all this and I can't believe this is missing. Or I can't believe there's a spot on this white outfit. You all know what I'm talking about. So you have to measure a lot of this in. We already have 59 in here this early on Labor Day. Please go ahead and hit that like button. It so much helps out the channel. And it so much helps out 6scalecantina.com and the Dark Jedi, Aries Tarrington. I'm putting up some comments here before I go on. Let's see what Barrett says here. Every time, LOL, I hate bidding on eBay. Sure. Absolutely, Barrett. You know what I'm talking about. Ladies man, 727. I hate eBay bidding. I hate it too. And I remember going back in the day where, it almost seems like the same person was bidding it, or you have to wonder sometimes if the seller's doing it to upbid it. It's always such a hassle. But, sometimes I'll bid. And then, but here's what I do. And here's a hard lesson to do. I bid, I put in my maximum bid, and I walk away. If I luck out, then great. But I'm not going to get sucked in. I'm not going to get sucked into that. So something to keep in mind. If you can discipline yourself, put up a boundary, put up a parameter that you're not going across, you may find that you'll get less frustrated with some of this stuff. And you may have to wait a little bit longer, but that's okay. Let's see what the clone collector put up over here. I got Ray for like 200 eBay bidding. That's good. I wonder what Ray you got there. But yeah, you could easily get the one without BB-8 for around 200 all day long. All the other Rays are really, really hot. I don't know what figure you're talking about here, Boston Collectors. And here I thought Emperor Palpatine Deluxe was steep. Listen, that is steep, and it keeps getting steeper. And we got Young Squid in here. Hello, Aries. Happy Monday, baby. Hey, listen. Happy Monday to you with 63 now in here. Having some coffee with you all. For a lot of you that came in late, I usually do my Market Outlook edition, my Hot Toys Talk, whatever episodes I'm going to do later in the week that are pre-recorded. I'll put them out and I'll do it. But on this Labor Day, I'm just like, wow, you know what? Let me go ahead and go live very early in the day here, in the early afternoon. And because I thought it would be a lot of fun. This is fun for me. So great surprise to be with you all. Hope it's a surprise to you all. Still drinking the regular coffee. And hello to everybody. If I'm missing some of you, I do apologize, but I do appreciate all of you that are here. Peter Lamb's in the house. Happy Labor Day, guys. Happy Labor Day to you as well. So something to really consider. Let's actually go back, make the screen a little bit bigger anyway. So you see that, with the Han and Chewie. You had one 800 something, and now you have one 900 something. And, going back to the market value chart at 6scalecantina.com. And while this is loading, don't forget to hit that like button. Much appreciated. Go to the current value column. We click it a couple of times. Okay, so we're just talking about Han and Chewie. You see that it's $900. Let's go to some other data. You see Tarkin and Vader. So you see Anakin dark side even at 803. What does even mean? What does it mean when it doesn't have an up or down trend? And here's the best way to explain when it doesn't have an up or down trend. It means that it's kind of selling the same. You see it selling in the 700s, in the low 700s, sometimes high 600s, and then you still see it selling in the 800s and in the 900s and in the thousands. And it's kind of just not really having any movement. This kind of broke into the $800 tier range. Remember when that happened? When was that? A few months ago already? A couple months ago? Maybe a few months ago. I've only been doing this since the end of January, beginning of February, so I don't know. But somewhere around there, a few months ago. And since it broke into the $800 tier range, it's leveled off. That's the term I use. Leveled off. Which means there's no significant downtrend. It's like, oh, look, Aries, I saw a couple for $690. Okay. Well, I just saw a couple for $1,100. It's kind of just there, and you average it out, it's kind of staying right there. That's what's going on with Dark Side Anakin. It rose, and now it kind of is coasting. Like the Han and Chewie. The Han and Chewie is coasting. Tarkin and Vader, though, here's a very interesting dynamic within the secondary market for Star Wars Hot Toys. Tarkin and Vader is trending down. But it's not trending down in a way that you think. It's not trending down like that OG Mando trended down. That has leveled off too. We're going to get into that. But it's not trending down like the Kylo Ren from The Last Jedi or like when the Mud Trooper sank. It's trending down. It was in the 800 tier range, and then it was just not selling above 800 as much as it was in the 700s. But there's no significant dip for a way to try to explain this to you. So it's at 780 and trending down. Is it possible that it's going to trend all the way down to 600? No, it's not possible. I don't see that at all. It's going to somewhere float around 780, maybe 750, 740. It's going to go back up to 800. And it could just be one of those two packs that just kind of level off there. Is it possible it gets up to where Han and Chewie is? Sure it is. It's just showing a little bit of an ebb and flow. So it makes sense? A little bit of an ebb and flow. And let's go ahead and take a look, and I'll get to some of the comments that are coming up there in just a minute. But let's get to some recent auctions with Tarkin and Vader. I just showed you some with Han and Chewie. And pulling this up on the screen. And you can see back here, back from September 3rd, just a few days ago, $740 with 4 bids. Very reputable seller, almost $1,500, 100% positive feedback, not including the $25 in shipping though, and not including taxes. So well over $800. And I'm seeing more often than not right now with this 2-pack that it's selling more often than not around the mid 700 range than it is in the mid $800 range. Now, does that mean it doesn't sell in the $800 range? No, it sells quite often. It's just more often right now selling in this range. So again, you have to pay attention to this in the secondary market because this may be a time, if you're looking for this 2-pack, to exercise some patience. So, right now, if you will, for this figure, $740, that's like, $370 a figure. If you get the 2-pack, of course, more on Tarkin. But here's the interesting thing with this figure. But like I said, it's going to stay around here and get back up to 800. Tarkin by itself, Tarkin by himself is not sinking. As a matter of fact, the 2-pack is trending down a little bit. And then Tarkin continues to rise in the secondary market. Very, very interesting, isn't it? It's a very interesting dynamic. And that kind of tells you a little bit of the tale of the OG Mandalorian in the secondary market, which has leveled out. Now I'm going to get into that. Okay. But how the OG Mandalorian and perhaps the Blurg, how much of an effect that could have for collectors that are only interested in an OG Mandalorian. What you're seeing with Tarkin and Vader is you're seeing the Tarkin and Vader 2-pack dip down slightly, trend down a little bit in the secondary market. But you're seeing the Tarkin rise. So is it possible that the same type of dynamic could occur with the OG Mandalorian? Is it possible that even when that Blurg and OG Mandalorian gets officially put out, the production's done, that the OG Mandalorian will continue to rise in the secondary market, and that 2-pack isn't going to have that much effect on it? Now, we're going to have to keep an eye on it because it's ever evolving. But here's a trend that you're seeing in the secondary market that can provide some breadcrumbs and hints to the future, for sure. And going to some of these comments in here. First, I put this up. Link 2195 is in the house. Link, thank you so much for being here. Happy Labor Day to you. We have well over 70 in here now. Please go ahead and hit that like button. It helps out the video, and I so appreciate your support as well. And maybe some of you are in here who've never watched 6 Scale Cantina. Please go ahead and subscribe to the channel, that little floating banner on the bottom. Do appreciate it. But welcome in here, Link. And welcome to everybody who is in here if I've missed you. And, going with some of these comments here as we're talking about this, putting this up from Boston Collectors, I can't wait to watch Qui-Gon start rising. A lot of people slept on that one. Hard, in my opinion. That's interesting there, Boston Collectors. I do agree with you. I think with, we were talking about it yesterday on Geeking Out's Sunday program, which I was on. A lot of fun to be on that. And, one of the panel members on there was talking about how the prequels are more well received now compared to years ago. And I've talked about that before as well on some of my videos and some of the live shows that I've been on. And there's a very interesting dynamic. They seem to be getting more and more popular, especially with a lot of folks that grew up with the prequels, for sure. And you're starting to see more of a demand for the prequel figures. You see how we're going to get into Anakin. We're going to get into Obi-Wan in just a little bit within the secondary market. Forget about Count Dooku. How about Attack of the Clones Yoda? A reissue of that figure. And that figure is doing very, very well. And I think eventually you're going to see, remember, it took Count Dooku a little bit to catch up to like where Krennic was. Remember? You guys remember out there where you could get Dooku for about $310, $320? Remember that? I was just going back last year a little bit. Maybe late last summer. Maybe the beginning of fall with Count Dooku. And now it's just absurd. It's at, very high secondary market prices. So I do think Qui-Gon, what is Qui-Gon's future? And I feel like Boston Collectors is asking me this. Where you see Dooku, where you see Obi-Wan, where you see Darth Maul now. It took the Darth Maul DX16. Forget about the 17 with the bike because that one's approaching $600 tier range. But that Darth Maul DX16 just a few weeks ago breached the $400 tier range. It took a long time. But really, it took Count Dooku a long time as well. But now you're not going to be able to get that DX16 for a very good bargain price anymore. And I think you're going to see the same thing with Qui-Gon. And what is that figure's future? It is without a doubt a $400 tier range figure at the end of the day. Now, will it be $450, $425, $475? We'll have to keep an eye on it. We'll have to keep an eye on it for sure. exotic. Dorikus, when Qui-Gon appears on the Kenobi show, it will boost his value. You ain't kidding, Dorikus. It absolutely sure will. It absolutely sure will. And then putting this up from Exotic Carfax. I keep missing it. There we go. Spatchka spilling everywhere. Well, Exotic, this isn't exactly Live and Raw, where we talk about all the predictions and all the far out stuff, and I have all the coffee pots. That's a different show, right? But I'm always willing to spill some coffee because I just love Star Wars hot toys. But don't worry, we're going to keep the Live and Raws up. They're going to be coming. And I hope you're all enjoying this, the Market Outlook Edition Live. I think I'm going to keep this every once in a while going as well. And look who's in the house. Dante from the Man of Hot Collectibles, my good friend Dante. Hello, everyone. What's up, Aries? Dante, happy Labor Day to you, my friend. Thank you for tuning in to the Market Outlook edition of the Market Value Chart Show Live. So appreciate that you're in the house for sure. But, let's go ahead and actually pull back up on the screen. Let me bring this to a bigger screen here. So we were just talking about seeing how Tarkin is rising, but the 2-pack is low a little bit. Let's go to some other data here before I go into where I want to tie this into as well, besides just the OG Mandalorian and the blurb. And even with Han, here's the thing, and also tying this into patience, because I can put up Han by himself, and Han all day long is more often than not, ladies and gentlemen, selling in the $500 tier range more than the $400. But if you have some patience, I just pulled this up back from September 3rd, $451.50, 16 bids, not including the 25 in shipping, not including taxes. What does this mean? Well, first of all, Han is like somewhere like 501, maybe 502 average in the market value chart. How can it have a 502 average if it's always selling $500-$600? It would be much higher. So obviously it sells in the 400s, but not very low. Once in a while, when you exercise some patience, you're like, wow, look, I got this $50 under the current value within the market value chart at 6scalecantina.com. And that's where I talk about patience. But it always seems, and again, I say this again, maybe you know what I'm talking about. Whenever you try and exercise that patience, someone outbids you. You get into a bidding war. Oh, look, I'm going to get this for $420. Yeah, I kept bidding. I got it for $500. And then you wind up, I've been waiting for months now, Aries. I'm just going to go buy it. Okay. That's the nature of the hunt. It wouldn't be called a hunt if it really wasn't a hunt. It's not really fishing, casting your rod out. If they're just going to keep biting, that would be great, though. Wouldn't it? Hey, just keep catching. But you know what I'm talking about. So patience is hard, but in the end of the day, it does pay off. But again, an average is an average. So you'd see with this Han Solo here, 451, then bring up another one. Although more often than not, this is why this is trending up. This is selling in the 500s. And pulling up another one here. Here's another figure that's on fire. But even though it's on fire, that doesn't mean you can't find this sometimes. Like here, for $390 for this Luke Skywalker A New Hope. I remember when you can get this figure much less expensive than that, but it's a new day for Star Wars hot toys. And this is, for me, one of my absolute favorite figures within my collection. Sure, it's not the best head sculpt in the world, but for any Luke A New Hope farm boy that's come out 6 scale, in my opinion, commercial wise anyway, this blows everything away. I love this figure. But look, $390. Well, Aries, it shows 416. Well, that's the average. That means sometimes it's going to sell $390. But more often than not, it's selling higher. But again, patience. And as soon as I tell you to do that, you're going to be, look, there's one for $390. Someone outbids you. Or you see this listing for $475, and the gal or guy doesn't want to, wheel with you. Well, I'll give it to you. That's the hunt. That's the hunt. But what this is all tying to. We went over Luke. We went over Han. We went over Tarkin. We went over the Han and Chewie 2-pack. And you're seeing with a lot of these figures, a lot of these OT figures, that they're just fetching insanely high prices within the secondary market. So you have to wonder, Is it possible that we could predict some of the other original trilogy figures trends within the secondary market? Can we predict the future with some of these figures, with what's going on in the secondary market with some of these that I just showed you? And I say, yes, you can, to an extent. To an extent. You can kind of have some fun here. 77 already in here. Please go ahead and smash that like button. And put this up on the screen before I go to my point. Star Killer, patience. Young Padawan. Wow, yeah. Patience is hard, especially with collecting. Doesn't everybody want it now? I want my Clone Wars Ahsoka now. Pate Strick. A Bad Batch Tarkin? Is it possible? Pate Strick. You have to wonder. 3 Deputy. So good to have the Deputy back in the house. I'm so glad I caught this one live. Happy Labor Day to you, my friend. And I'm going to put this up on the screen from Peter Lamb before I get into this original trilogy and some of these predictions to the future. Peter, this is a great, great comment. Another one people slept on is the Incinerator Trooper. I heard they didn't make too many of him either. What's your take on him? Let me sip some coffee. Let me sip some coffee on this. I think I'm going to go with this. There, Peter Lamb. Let me put this up. Peter, I'm going to go right back to yours because this is a great comment. Bad Boy Productions, welcome. Happy Labor Day. Hi, Aries. If you could only choose one, would you choose Hot Toys, Chirrut, or Krennic? I don't have either, but that doesn't mean I don't want it. And if I couldn't find a deal in the secondary market, I wouldn't pull the trigger because I would. I've just been exercising patience, and patience is destroying me, my friend, because I want both of those figures. If I could only get one, I'd have to take Donnie Yen. I love all of Donnie Yen's movies. I love martial arts, and I was just so excited to learn that Donnie Yen was going to be in a Star Wars movie. And I am looking every day, basically, for a Chirrut Imwe. And that's more of a priority for me than a Krennic. Would I love a Krennic? I'd love an Orson Krennic. I think it's a great character. But I'd have to go with, for me personally, I'd have to go with Chirrut Imwe. But I understand a lot of other collectors going the other way. I guess it's just whatever floats your boat. But definitely a bucket list to have them both. To have them both, my friend. But thank you for that comment. But let me go ahead and put Peter Lamb's back out here and read it again. Another one people slept on is the Incinerator Trooper. I heard they didn't make too many of him either. What's your take on him? Well, with 78 in here, let's go ahead and go to this. And let's see if I have something with the Incinerator Trooper on here. And I hope I do. Okay. So this kind of tells a story. Now we've got 80 in here on Labor Day. Happy Labor Day, everybody. Welcome to the Market Outlook edition of the Market Value Chart Show live. I hope you're all having a great weekend, and you had a great weekend, and you're having a great Labor Day. My pleasure to be here with you. So, Peter, let's continue to scroll down so we can see the price. And you can see right here, back from September 5th, which was the other day, $222.50 with 18 bids. And $20 in shipping. Now, this is somebody with over 500 feedback and very, very good feedback. So, not very, very high. And right now, this with the Incinerator Trooper, this is what I'm seeing. More often than not, it is selling in this range. Does that mean that it doesn't ever sell in the high 200s? No, it does. It does. But more often than not, right now, I'm seeing this. Let's actually go to the market value chart and plug in Incinerator. And, so we're not going to sort it out best-selling wise, and just, good for everyone to know here too. You can just go in here to that box. Let's type in Incinerator. And before I even can type it all out, it comes out. So Incinerator Trooper, TMS 012, $242. And even. It's leveled off at $242. So this price, that means it's selling $272 and $282. And that also means it's selling for the price that I just had up on here, $223, which I just flashed on the screen. So, Peter, it kind of goes back and forth with that particular figure. That's the average. So you're not seeing a whole lot with that figure, and even the Death Trooper from the Mandalorian has leveled off, and it looks like the Remnant Trooper has also leveled off as well. That was the most desirable one at first, but that has leveled off as well. So is it possible that those figures are just not, the Sith Trooper is just more desirable than that figure right now? And not necessarily, because the Sith Trooper does sell a little bit higher right now. It just means that there is an oversaturation of the Incinerator Trooper. Oversaturation meaning that there's a lot of figures, and there's a lot of figures to choose from, and there's a lot of troopers to choose from. But at the end of the day, they didn't make very many of those. You're correct. As next year goes on, and by the end of next year, you're going to see that Incinerator Trooper be well into the $300 tier range. Same thing with the Remnant Trooper. Well, the Remnant Trooper's already there, somewhere low $300 tier range. But you're going to see that with the Death Trooper for sure. Don't worry about any troopers, and don't worry about the other trooper. What is that? The other trooper with the yellow paint instead of that one. It's going to do just fine. We're going to get to that in just a little bit. But don't expect some of these figures to all come out and perform like Commander Cody. They're not always going to do. Cody is just hotter than the Incinerator Trooper, and they probably made more of Cody than they did of the Incinerator Trooper, perhaps. Hot Toys knows to make a lot of troopers because people troop build. Not so many people Cody build, although you can. So you got to keep that in mind too. They're aware. They're aware. People troop build with the troopers, but it wasn't going to be any of those troopers. Were not going to rival like something like Cody that quick. But in time, like a lot of the other troopers in the secondary market, it will be fetching really, really higher prices than retail for sure. But thank you for that question. Doricus Maximus puts up. Well, J-Rex Entertainment, it could skyrocket with the limited stock and aftermarket once the clone craze dies down. That is a true statement. I know where you're going with that. Putting this up, Doricus Maximus, I'm excited for the Stormtrooper Commander. Yes, that one's going to do really well. 87 in here now. Thank you all so much. Happy Labor Day. Luis Marin, what's up, Aries? Sorry for being late. Listen, you got me sorry about anything. Thank you for tuning in. This is great to have you here, Luis, and everybody here on this Labor Day weekend. I'm drinking my regular morning coffee, and I've got the bigger container, so I don't have to get up from over here once I down this today. But for all those that are coming in new, I usually pre-record this episode, and I figured, you know what, Labor Day, let's go ahead and have some fun, and let's do the Market Outlook edition live. And so maybe I'll be doing this more often, or mix it in once in a while. Let me just pull this up on the screen. Zlack, when do you think the Captain Rex will? Well, we're going to talk about Captain Rex. Zlack, welcome in here. Happy Labor Day to you. And I don't know if that was answering somebody in the chat, but we're going to talk about Rex in just a little bit for sure. But let's go back to this bigger screen. And let's go to some of these other. Let's actually go here. And let's actually, from all the OT figures I was showing you, what is going to happen with this figure? And what is going to happen with this figure? So I'm bringing Lando, an original trilogy figure up, and I'm bringing Luke Skywalker, that awesome snow speeder pilot Luke, back up on the screen as well. And these are both original trilogy figures for everybody that's in here that are up on pre-order at Sideshow. And if I pull those up to the screen, let's see what if I have this actually all sorted out. And I might not. I think I will. Let's actually scroll down and take a look at those figures all together. And as I bring that up on the screen, again, welcome everybody to the Market Outlook edition of the Market Value Chart Show Live. Much appreciated that you're all here. And, you could take a look at Luke right here. Here's Luke, right in between Jango Fett and right in between Ahsoka. And there's Lando. Scroll down a little bit more next to Anakin and the Stap, which I can't wait to get that Anakin and the Stap figure, to be honest with you. But can we predict just how this Luke Snowspeeder is going to perform within the secondary market? And is it possible we can actually predict how the Lando, the Bespin Lando, is going to do within the secondary market? And I say yes. Look, I just showed you at the onset of the program what's going on with all the original trilogy figures. And you're seeing it with every Luke that there is, whether it's a poor head sculpt, medium head sculpt, good head sculpt, any of Han, any of Obi-Wan, any of Leia, anything with Luke. It's just very highly sought after. And you could see right here with these figures, this Luke Skywalker Snowspeeder, which is really, I don't know if I'm looking more forward to that or the Mandalorian Luke. But I cannot wait to get that Snowspeeder pilot Luke. I just cannot wait to get it, just being honest. It's not a figure that was trending so high up here. Even like Cody and Rex. Remember, Cody and Rex have been very high up. Not the top three like those Beskar Mandalorians, which look at them. They're still, wow. It's amazing, these Beskar Mandalorians. Wow, still selling. No discounts needed on them, at least right now. Wow. But, Rex and Cody were pretty good up in here. Kind of like the 40th anniversary ESP Vader. Remember that? 40th anniversary Vader wasn't top 3, but it was in the top 15 a long time. Same thing with Rex. Same thing with Cody. And you see how many they made of those, which was a pretty good significant amount. And you're seeing the 40th anniversary Vader, the Commander Cody. You're going to see it with Rex. They're going to sell very, very well within the secondary market. But with figures that aren't even that hot, like 40th anniversary Vader, like the other figures that I just mentioned, figures that are down here, like the Snowspeeder pilot Luke and this Lando Calrissian, even if, and they sure will, they'll probably get up in the top 3 or maybe even number 1 once the final production photos come out, but it's going to be a little too late. They're not going to make as many of these as the Beskar Mandalorians. That's number 1. So that's something you need to take into consideration. They're just not going to do it. And the way the original trilogy figures are performing in the secondary market, there really is no wonder to me how a Snowspeeder pilot Luke would perform once it's completely sold out. Is it going to do like Captain Phasma? I want you to think about that. What's going to sell more, Snowspeeder Luke or Captain Phasma at this time? What's going to sell more, Kylo Ren without the head sculpt or Snowspeeder pilot Luke? Look, I'm letting you work with me on using points of logic to figure out where this is going to go. Let me take this another way. What's going to sell higher, Snowspeeder pilot Luke or Endor Luke non-deluxe? Do you really have to think about that? The Snowspeeder pilot Luke all day long will be a $400 tier range figure, and probably not a figure that they're going to reissue for 10 years after this comes out. So you have to wonder, is this particular figure going to be up high like you see a New Hope Leia, like you see Hoth Leia, like you're starting to see with Bespin Leia, like you're starting to see with Endor Leia, like you're starting to see. Look, it doesn't just A New Hope. It's everything original trilogy. And I say yes. Look, if you love Luke and you like that snowspeeder pilot Luke, it's going to be a $400 tier range figure, and probably in some years to come will be a $500 tier range figure. And again, not just about Luke. Let's go ahead and bring this up again. What about Lando? The Billy D. Williams version of Lando Calrissian. And boy, I know the argument, well, it's not selling right now, right? And if it continues not to sell, goodness. You think Bespin Leia is going up right now, which it's skyrocketing itself? Forget about this figure. You think Orson Krennic's getting going for big money? Someone brought that up before. You think Chirrut Imwe is going for a lot of money? And right now where this Lando is it possible they make around the same amount of this Lando as they did Chirrut Imwe? As they did Orson Krennic? You think they're going to make tens of thousands of this Lando right now? Think about that. Look, it's not too difficult to predict future Grails. And what is the hot commodity within the secondary market? What is the hottest commodity right now besides some of the prequel figures? Original trilogy, my friends. Original trilogy. And how many people are spending hundreds of dollars on original trilogy figures? How many? Hundreds. And you don't think when this Lando Calrissian comes out, whether it's being pre-ordered now or not, that people aren't going to want a Lando in their original trilogy collection? Think about that. Digest that for a second. Come on now. It's not too difficult to predict. Low supply of these. High demand for original trilogy figures. And people brought this up before in this chat. I felt like someone mentioned in here, and credit to you, people slept on Qui-Gon. Yeah, some did. People slept on the dark side Anakin when it was out. Well, a lot of people, including myself, was sleeping during the sequel era. Not that I didn't enjoy them, but it was just so toxic. There wasn't a whole lot of motivation and crazy gyrating excitement about Star Wars and all the negativity. It was like going into an MMA cage, and every round you had to go through to defend your love for Star Wars. Let's face it. Of course, the Emperor wasn't selling that good back then. The Black Clouds. There's no Black Clouds anymore. There's nothing but blue skies right now. And I'm telling you, you want to know what future Grails are? This Lando Calrissian. For sure. Unless original trilogy, people start to just dislike the original trilogy. They're not interested in the original trilogy. Han and Chewie 2-pack goes down to $300. It's in the bargain bin. No one wants it anymore. No one wants Luke. No one wants Han. Forget about the Leias. You're going to see the Leia, the Hoth Leia go down to $200. Come on. There's no scenario where that's going to happen. There's just not. And what you're going to see is this Luke, this Lando, and this Luke. They are absolutely going to be holy grails for Star Wars anyway within the secondary market. Putting some of these comments on. Ladies Man 727. Hello, Mr. Blue Sky. Look, I try and keep it positive, baby. Right. Let's go over some of these. Yeah, look at it. Look at some of these comments. Very, very interesting. Yeah, the original trilogy. Single Star Writer, you're right. All original trilogy figures are safe collecting bets. Yes. That's a safe bet. Not one OT figure has gone below retail. And you know what's interesting about that single songwriter with 86 in here? Happy Labor Day. Happy Labor Day to you all. And welcome to the Market Outlook edition of the Market Value Chart Show. Decided to do it live. Probably do these every once in a while. Somebody's flash streams, which is what this is. Even that Jawa on the Gonk right now is selling for retail. It was very, very interesting. Now, while it was up at Sideshow, if it was up in the secondary market, you could get a deal on it. But right now, the Jawa and Gonk, even that controversial original trilogy set, is pretty even. It's pretty even right now. And is it possible that Jawa and Gonk can rise up into the $300 tier range? And I say yes. Look, if that Jawa and Gonk is going to do that single songwriter, it's a good point here. You can bet your bottom dollar that this Luke Skywalker snowspeeder pilot and that Lando Calrissian is most certainly going to go over retail. And I think both of these figures all day long will eventually be $400 tier range figures for sure. Put this up from J Rex Entertainment. OT is meat and potatoes. Nothing will replace it. Isn't that what Vader said to Luke? Nothing can stop that now. Help me take this ma. Anyway, come on. Don't get me into live and raw because I'll start losing it here. And putting this up on the screen, Peter Lamb. Tarkin used to be $200 along with OT Ben. Wow. I've definitely seen the Star Wars market skyrocket after The Mandalorian. Look. And it's not just The Mandalorian, Peter. And that's a great comment, and thank you. I agree. The 84 in here. It's Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau. And for a lot of you that watched my whole impromptu live stream with the Luke Skywalker, well, we had about 6-8 hours to prepare for that one. We had like 15 minutes to prepare for this one. But I talked about how, Hot Toys is releasing moments, but Favreau and Filoni are giving Hot Toys and giving the community those moments. And certainly, Star Wars market is started to skyrocket since those two gentlemen have taken over the helm for Star Wars. And I'm really, really looking forward to seeing what they have in store in the future for sure as well. Thank you so much for that comment. But yeah, so those are two figures within the secondary market that are pretty sure bets to be future Grails. Now, remember, I always say this I always try and help out collectors. And while I'm pretty relatively new to Hot Toys, I'm pretty relatively old when it comes to collecting Star Wars and pretty high volume collectibles, much more higher priced than what we're dealing with here. And I could tell you at the end of the day, there's always going to be, I love, investigating and following the market. So I'm able to keep track of my collection and the figures that I'm going to buy, what are good figures to buy or not. If you're not interested in Luke or Lando, don't buy it because they're going to be Grails, because you never know what's going to happen in the market, right? But, if you want a Luke and Lando, boy, and a lot of people do is the point, because you're seeing that happening within the secondary market for Star Wars Hot Toys. All right. Let's go ahead and go back to 6scalecantina.com and continue forward. And let me bring this up onto a bigger screen so you can see it. And let's go back to the market value chart and let's actually sort it out best-selling wise. And look what else is up near the top now that I have this up on the screen. Anakin Darkside. And we talked about this in the beginning as far as it being leveled out, so not to regurgitate that. But it is steady and leveled out at $803. No significant rises or decreases, but it's selling above $803, well above it, and it's selling below it. And really no significant change for that. And let's go ahead and take a look at some things going on Dark Side Anakin. So, and this is going to help us be able to decipher what figures could they potentially reissue, and what figures are really, it's not really likely that they're going to go ahead and reissue. And you can kind of predict that as well. And a lot of that has to do with the character level over, in Star Wars. But, I can bring some up here on the screen. Let's bring up this Dark Side Anakin. And you can see right here that just back from earlier in the month of August, $700 are the best offer accepted. Wow. Pretty good deal. Okay, so who knows what they took on that? Not including the $10 in shipping, not including taxes. So sometimes you can get a Dark Side for that. Let's go to another Dark Side Anakin. And pulling this up on the screen, you can see back from the end of August, $775, 21 bids. Now, 100% positive feedback, but not a whole lot. You see 19 there. So sometimes when someone doesn't have a high feedback and you're going to spend $700, $800, $900 on something, you know what I'm talking about. You exercise your brain with this. If this was a more, if this was a seller with higher feedback, for instance, like a Hawk Wars Toys, it probably goes for a lot more than $775. But anyway, you can find it. Let's go to another one. You can see a Dark Side Anakin here, though. And all three of these actually sold in August at $1,035. At 49 cents. Just about 100% positive feedback with over 3,100 feedback. So, there it sells into the thousands. It sells low. And right now is kind of when it broke into that $800 tier range. It kind of stayed there. Now, is this figure going to continue to climb? Is it going to continue to sink? Well, we're going to have to keep an eye on it. But is it possible that the Dark Side Anakin can get a reissue? Let's go to another figure here. You can see everything here, and I'll bring this one up. And I've actually brought this up on the last show. But this is another one. All three sold in August. Obi-Wan Kenobi Deluxe 600. This figure is absolutely skyrocketing. Is it possible that this Obi-Wan Kenobi can actually catch up to where the Dark Side Anakin is? And you know what? It's very interesting. I actually see trends right now where this figure might surpass the regular Revenge of the Sith Anakin, which is in the $600 tier range. But it's going to be very, very interesting with these figures, for sure. But yeah, putting this up on the screen from Throd. And Throd, welcome to the house. 1,000 USDA for Dark Side Anakin is absolutely bonkers. It is. It boggles the mind. You can get a 1/4 Star Wars statues for way less than that. Look, you can get some vintage mock. You get so many different collectibles for less than that. But people want this figure. And so let me ask you a question here, Thrawn. Dark Side Anakin, to me, has always been, you got 92 in here now. Please smash that like button. Dark Side Anakin, to me, is mislabeled. It is Darth Vader. That's the real importance for me in this figure. And why do you say that, Aries? Go watch Revenge of the Sith again if you haven't watched it in a long time. And not only did the Emperor, once Mace Windu, fell out the window, and he's still alive. He's still alive. Don't get me going with coffee. But once Mace Windu flew out the window, he was no longer Anakin. That name was gone. He's Darth Vader. And even when, you remember in the Jedi Temple, when Yoda warned Obi-Wan, don't look into the security tapes, may not like what you find. And he said, Master Yoda, I've got to. And this Darth Vader, he said, consumed by Darth Vader. There's no more Anakin, this boy is. So they could call it Dark Side Anakin. To me, it's not Dark Side Anakin. That's Darth Vader, the first reiteration of Darth Vader. So I think that's one of the dynamics, Thrawn, you're dealing with dark side Anakin. And let me say this. Is Darth Vader, which is essentially that dark side Anakin, a figure worthy enough, important enough, upper echelon enough for Hot Toys to reissue? And I say yes. Collecting community, you heard it here from the Dark Jedi, Aries Tarrington, who serves up all the Star Wars. Hot Toys talk. Hot Toys will 1000% reissue this dark side Anakin in some way, shape, or form. I remember when this first came out, not to bring it up again. Forget about the sequel era. Blue skies now. This figure would sell like hotcakes. And they're seeing that price within the secondary market. And again, for me and for a lot of collectors out there, look, let's Darth Drez. Yes, baby. Yeah. Wow. And I agree with you, Slim Rummy. It should have a Vader nameplate. It really should. It should have a Darth Vader nameplate. It really, really should. This is really, you have to put this in. Mace is out the window. Listen, Mace is out the window, but then he used the Force to save himself, and he's going to come back. Listen. Yes. To me, this is a absolute no-brainer for the dark side Anakin. That is 1000% going to be, and putting that back up on the screen, you can see dark side Anakin off on the side. This is 1000% a figure that's going to be reissued. And you have to wonder, what about some of the reissues that Hot Toys has put out so far? Let's think about that. How about Attack of the Clones Yoda? Yoda's one of the most popular characters in Star Wars history. So is, quote-unquote, dark side Anakin, Darth Vader. What about Darth Vader from Empire Strikes Back? That's an epic moment, right? No, Luke, I am your father. But now that the prequels have sank in for how many years? When Anakin became Darth Vader, that's pretty epic moments too in Revenge of the Sith, right? Right? So you had Darth Vader reissued. Attack of the Clones Yoda reissued. How about Boba Fett from Empire Strikes Back? Pretty epic, right? Put Captain Solo in the cargo hold. Okay. Pretty epic? Dark side Anakin epic or not? This figure is 1000% going to be reissued. Now, is it going to be reissued exactly the same way this is? I don't know. Is it possible that they reissue this figure like they reissued the Nightmare Batman and maybe in a 2-pack? Possible. Is it possible they reissue it without the base? Possible. Is it possible they reissue it the same exact way? Possible. Who knows? But they're going to do it. Now, let's take the Mud Trooper. How popular was the Solo movie? How popular, which I love the portrayal of that Han Solo. I've got the Han Solo Deluxe figure from the Solo movie. But is that a priority right now? Well, and that trended down. Looks like it's going to even out. It'll probably trend up again. It's a trooper, the Mud Trooper. Let's say the Mud Trooper eventually in 3 years becomes a $600 tier range figure. Let's say it does. Let's just say it. The Mud Trooper is now $600. Hot Toys are going to reissue the Mud Trooper with that actor's head sculpt. And I say no. So you see, that's how you have to kind of look at it. That Mud Trooper is not Boba Fett. That Mud Trooper is not The Mandalorian with Pedro Pascal. That Mud Trooper is not Master Yoda. That Mud Trooper is not Dark Side Anakin. So you have to consider a lot of variables. Instead of just coming out with, they're going to reissue everything that's high. No, they're not. Because some things, no matter how hot Star Wars is, no matter how hot it is, are not going to fetch that type of demand. It's kind of, you got to kind of look at it as like the porcelain stormtrooper. There's going to be certain people that are going to buy that, no matter how hot it is, and there's going to be certain people that are not going to buy that. Not that it's good or bad. It's just not going to have mass interest. Okay? Dark Side Anakin would have mass interest. And here's the other thing. Barrett's Solo was great. I love the Solo movie. Actually, it's my oldest daughter's favorite Star Wars movie. Love the Solo movie. I'm talking about how it did and where it is in the universe for Star Wars and the fandom. It's just, you have to look at it that way. And so there's a lot of factors. So with big time name characters, they're going to find a way to either reissue those or come out with different versions of those if the community demands a new head sculpt. For instance, we talk about the original trilogy Luke. We talk about the original trilogy Han. We talk about the original trilogy Leia. And there's going to be a 50th anniversary of Star Wars. And they can just go ahead and reissue some of those figures that are out there. But is it possible at that time, because of how hot Star Wars would be then with all these new shows and probably movies by then and who knows what else, that there's kind of a redo of some of those? And I say yes. So you have to take that into consideration too. Is it an exact reissue? Or is it a tweak? So let's go to this. Let's go to this. We have 88 in here. And let me bring this up on the screen. So people have been asking me for a long time, how is this figure doing? Let me put it up on the screen. And here's a prime example. And I'll make this into the bigger screen so we can see it. How is the Heavy Infantry Mandalorian? Okay. Well, you can see back from September 1st that this figure is sold for $355 with a seller, very good seller at 100% positive feedback, but not necessarily enough with only 19 feedback. Not every collector is going to feel the same about like someone with like 1,000 feedback, because they're relatively new, right? Not including $30 in shipping. So you could almost add $10 to this. Okay. So $365, not including taxes. Okay. So this is another figure where I'm showing, because it dipped down for a while. This figure has leveled off and is showing signs to climbing back up, which I predicted it would. Let's bring something else up on here for the Heavy Infantry Mandalorian. If I could get to it here. And just bear with me as I bring that up. And let's see. Oh, here it is. Look at this. Back from September 1st, $390. Probably best offer, $380. Maybe $375 on the OG Mandalorian. And it has leveled off. And let's go to the market value chart. And let's actually see where the OG the Heavy Infantry, OG Mando has leveled off as well. Remember, this is live. I can't edit, baby. Let me put it heavy. I'm probably going to get the Praetorian Guards to do this quick. All right, there's Heavy Infantry Mandalorian. I'll highlight it. It's in the middle. $378 and steady. So it has leveled off, which means it's selling a little bit below $378 and sometimes selling a little bit above $378. And I mentioned that with this Heavy Infantry Mandalorian, that as it dipped down from when it was so high, that it would eventually, as it dipped down, that it would eventually level off. And then as it levels off, it will slowly start to rise. So you have to wonder, is it possible with the Heavy Infantry Mandalorian that this figure is going to get reissued? Let's ask him. I got it right here. I love this figure. See if I can pick it up without hurting it. I kind of had it prepared. Here we go. Here's the Heavy Infantry Mandalorian. Are you going to get reissued? And he says no. Okay. So, I think what's going to happen here is you're going to have this figure, and It's going that he's going to have in season 3 of The Mandalorian or wherever he shows up some different armor, chinks, clinks and chinks or whatever, in his armor. And maybe depending on how the story goes, you'll have maybe a head sculpt for this heavy. And this is an outstanding figure. I love this figure. I absolutely love. Hello out there in TV land. I love this figure. But I think Hot Toys would be very savvy in this regard when it comes to this heavy infantry Mandalorian, and come out with a different version, which for a lot of collectors would satisfy. Oh, I don't got to buy this one now. And plus the new one has a head sculpt, let's say for argument's sake. It might not, but let's say for argument's sake it does. Well, then, who really needs this one? But the thing is, this will be one of a kind. And this is a particular figure where it's possible, not a guarantee, that they wouldn't reissue, that they would come out with a different version of. So that's one scenario there. Hello, Mr. Heavy Infantry Mandalorian. For sure. Make sure he doesn't fall there. And here's another interesting thing. But what about a figure? I'm going to pull up another one going right on top of that I have right here. And this is, besides Dark Side Anakin, this may be my favorite Hot Toy figure. I know you're going to laugh, maybe some of you, with this. But I love this figure. I absolutely love this figure. This is the DX-16. Darth Maul. And yes, I have him posed in an action posed. Yeah, he's pretty cool. I got a collection tour coming soon. I think a lot of you out there are going to enjoy that with this DX-16. There goes a lightsaber blade. But anyway, that particular figure here, DX-16, is it possible that they straight up reissue that figure? And I say yes. Now, there's not many reiterations of Darth Maul that you're going to get from the Phantom Menace. And eventually that figure took forever and it cracked the $400 tier range. But now with someone who said in the comments there before how The Mandalorian and Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni has made, Star Wars so much on the map and so much fun again. The original appearance of Darth Maul in The Phantom Menace is an iconic movie and the iconic OG version of Darth Maul. Let's just be honest. So I don't really ever see again that the solo version of Maul coming out again unless they bring him into some content, which they could, and maybe they'll have some differences, so they might do that. So let me scratch that. It's possible. But for sure, no matter how many reiterations of Darth Maul they come out with, Darth Maul for the Phantom Menace is still going to be very close to our hearts as OG. And it's in a different place right now. So with the DX-16 cell, look, you're seeing it rise up into that high, up into the $400 tier range. And you're starting to see signs at the DX-17. And probably with all these, swoop bikes and speeder bikes that are coming out, you're seeing that figure is showing signs of getting into the $600 tier range. You have to wonder. For sure. So just some food for thought in trying to look through some of these. Let's actually put up some of these comments. Ladies Man 727, Maul with robot legs is GOAT. I love those robot legs on the. How many of you looking forward to the Clone Wars Maul? That's a good one too. Slim Robbie, where the heck is Rex? It's coming, baby. Boston Collectors, spilling coffee for that collection video. Look, I got to go into the bigger container now because the little one's done. Duh Collector with Spider Ball. Listen, I would take any ball. I love all the balls. Doricus Maximus, yes to Maul. Yeah. But then when you look at the solo Maul, unless they use them in future content, and if they use Ray Park again, that's when you can kind of be like, well, they're not going to say they don't use Ray Park. And that figure probably is not going to come out again. But the DX-16, DX-17, I could see that coming out again. So that's how you kind of put these things together a little bit. Duck Collector, I love him too. Great one to play. I love that Darth Maul. And then playing around with like all the, the wires and his, his outfit and everything like that. I absolutely just love that figure. 2 head sculpts, the 2 magnetic head sculpts. I wish. How many of you wish to have the DX18 that it came with 2 head sculpts? That was the only thing. They called it a DX. It was great. Had great tailoring. Maybe the tailoring better than a DX16. I don't like it better than a DX16 because of the OG, but I do like it. I just wish it would have came with another head sculpt. Yeah. Slim Rummy, he definitely survived. Guess the ball survived. Mace survived. Who knows? Who knows what Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau are going to do? As long as they keep doing what they're going to do, it's going to be great. I say it every time I'm here. Clone Commander Fox. Okay. Didn't they mention him in the description of the Ahsoka we're about to buy? So I think so. Yeah, that's coming. For sure. All the clones are coming. 94 in here. Hit that like button, please. Yeah. Welcome, everybody who is here for the Market Outlook edition of the Market Value Chart Show live. Happy Labor Day to you. And I hope you've had a great Labor Day weekend so far. And I hope you're having a great Labor Day for sure. And for some of you that have come in late, I usually do my pre-recorded market outlooks, here. And I figured, why not on a holiday weekend? Let's go ahead and do it live. So I may do this from time to time. The Market Value Chart Show live. Yeah, I'm really enjoying it. For sure. But let's go to some of these other, let's bring this up onto the screen. And so there is, you can see on the side here, here's Anakin. So going to another aspect of this, you're talking about reissues. Is it possible that they just straight up reissue the Revenge of the Sith Anakin versus the Dark Side Anakin? I'm not so convinced. That I'm more sure that Dark Side Anakin is going to get reissued than I am regular Anakin is going to get reissued. But I do think regular Anakin is going to get reissued as well. However, this particular figure here is certainly something for the regular Anakin anyway. That would be great for the display. And just like the aforementioned Snowspeeder Pilot Luke and Snowspeeder Pilot not Snowspeeder Pilot, but Bespin Lando. Snowspeeder Pilot Luke and Bespin Lando. You can connect the dots. And you can tell right away that those figures are going to perform like the original trilogy figures. Is it possible that you can connect the dots about this Anakin Skywalker, Eve, with this Clone Wars Anakin? And I say yes. Look, this is the same Hayden Christensen head sculpt. And I can tell you what I'm going to do. I am not spending $500 to $750 on a regular Anakin from Revenge of the Sith. But I am going to get this, and with the STAP, I already have this one pre-ordered. And this is going to go great in my Clone Wars prequels, that whole era display. And I'm going to have him on this STAP. And for me, this will take place for Anakin. Of course, if they do a Attack of the Clones Anakin, I'll buy that. If they do the Phantom Menace Anakin, which I don't think they will, I would buy that. Of course, the Anakins that they're going to come out with the new, however they do that with Darth Vader with the upcoming Obi-Wan series, I'm going to get that. But this is certainly going to fill the void for me. Now, I know not all of you, but I think some of you as well. This will certainly fill the void. And you have to wonder, is it possible that this will perform much like the other Anakins within the secondary market? And we're going to have to keep an eye on it. But I think in terms of relating this figure anyway to like Count Dooku or Director Krennic or even the Revenge of the Sith Obi-Wan Kenobi or even just the regular Anakin, not the dark side, I really believe it will. I don't believe that this figure, again, right now, this figure, when you sort it out, and then put this other earbud back in here that fell out. I'm putting this up on the screen before I do that, Doricus Maximus, this Anakin is definitely a void filler, for sure. For sure. Single star writer. Wizard is calling. We'll have to see. I don't know. I don't know if the wizard calls people on Labor Day. I have to wonder. But, bringing this back up onto the screen, and let's put up everything best-selling wise, just Star Wars Hot Toys on Sideshow. And let's pull some of this up over here and bring up the same point as I'm driving home as I did with the Lando and also the Snowspeeder Pilot Luke. So when you look here, the Anakin is right there next to Lando. Okay? So the Anakin is next to Lando, and that's with the staff. And I think the one without the staff is probably going to be higher. It's by the full-scale Grogu and right below the Boba Fett. So, this particular figure, these figures here, they're not making as many as even, of course, as I mentioned before, the Empire Strikes Back 40th Vader, the Empire Strikes Back 40th regular deluxe Boba Fett, Captain Rex, Commander Cody. All those figures were very high up around here. And even this Anakin without the stat is not up in that echelon right now. It is down here. So again, I'm going to bring this up again. Low supply, high demand. And yes, once the final production photos come out, like every other hot toy, they're going to go way up. It's going to be a little too late. And so can you predict how this Anakin's going to do in the secondary market? And I say yes. Now, is it going to be on the level of the regular Anakin or the dark side Anakin? Well, first of all, hardly nothing's on the level of the dark side Anakin. The only figures that come close to dark side Anakin are 2-packs, Tarkin and Vader, and Han and Chewie. So got to kind of, like I was talking about before, that whole Darth Vader thing going with dark side Anakin. But is it possible that figure could be up where the Obi-Wan is? Or where the regular Anakin is? Or certainly where the Dooku is? Or even where the Attack of the Clones Yoda is, which is a second reissue and that figure doing well? Of course, it's going to be a void filler. So when you're predicting future Grails, and certainly with the amount of money the Anakin is with the stat, it's kind of like that Darth Maul DX-17 with the speeder bike. That's just about a Grail now. And just like that Emperor with the chair, that's a Grail. So it's not too difficult to perhaps kind of predict and see it's possible with some of these figures, especially if it's a prominent character, a main character, like Anakin Skywalker, and portrayed by Hayden Christensen. And Disney Plus has hired who? Hayden Christensen. For sure. Welcome everybody that's in here, putting some of these comments up and comment of that. J-Rex Entertainment, the Jedi General Kenobi is a great looking figure. It really is. Is it possible that figure, J-Rex Entertainment, is going to be a void filler for some people that are, trying to get an Obi-Wan from Revenge of the Sith in the secondary market, especially spending now close to $600 or over $600 on a deluxe version of Obi-Wan? It could be. It could be. I like this, Dorikas. Nothing can stop. Nothing can stop Anakin from being a Grail. Well, he does become Darth Vader. Let's just be serious. That is Luke's dad. Star Killer. Can't wait to get this Anakin. And hopefully they release Clone Wars General Kenobi soon. I want to display them together. I'm not hearing from the Hot Toys Wizard today. Maybe he's off on Labor Day. But I can tell you from the Dark Jedi, Aries Terrington, who serves up all the Star Wars Hot Toys talk, that they're 1,000% going to come out with that Clone Wars Kenobi. Just you wait for it any day. And certainly by the end of January of next year. I think it's going to be coming out the next 4 to 5 months for sure. And I think in conjunction with that Clone Wars Anakin, you just have to have it with a Clone Wars collection. Welcome everybody that is in here. Happy Labor Day to you. 92 in here. Please go ahead and hit that like button for this impromptu stream. Going ahead and putting it up here on Labor Day. Yeah. Joe Fuzz. Love the staff. It's going to go great. I have this part of a cabinet, glass cabinet on one of my displays anyway, where I keep all my prequels kind of stuff. And the staff's going to go great on the bottom one, where I have separate lighting that kind of like kind of foundations everything else, and it'll go into the dark side Anakin on the droid from. It's going to be cool. It's going to be cool. I know it is. Bring me Padawan Anakin, and there isn't enough coffee to spill. Look, there's a lot of love for the prequels. How many of you out there like the prequels? Yeah. Come on. Barrett, Revenge of the Sith outfit is better than that Clone Wars outfit. Yeah, I kind of agree. I mean, it's for me, the first iteration of Anakin there. Yeah, I agree. But I do like that Clone Wars outfit, though. I'm just going to be honest. I do dig the blue. I do dig the brown boots. I do dig the hairstyle there. And with it being the same head sculpt and having the scar and it being Hayden Christensen, it'll just be like, someone that comes in that doesn't know Star Wars can just be like, oh, was that like a cut scene? One of the scenes that they didn't put in the movie that George Lucas left. I mean, it just fits for me. It just fits for me for sure. That's what I think anyway, but I hear you. Single songwriter. I can rewatch the prequels anytime. I can never. Listen, I love the ball. I can watch. Hey, listen, how many of you actually like the holiday special? Anybody in there with the holiday special? Hot Toys Grievous. Look, this is 1,000% coming. I talked about it in my last pre-recorded video. I talked about this with Fabio on the Live and Raw. So I talked about this the last week. I was grieving Grievous. Okay? Not to get into all that. But are you kidding me? A Hot Toys version of this? Can they do it just as good as the K2SO? Can they do it? I'm looking at IG-11. Can they do it as good as IG-11? Wow. I'll take it. I'll take it, baby. Yeah. So let's go to some other stuff over here. 96 in here. Please go ahead and hit that like button, and happy Labor Day. Happy Labor Day to you. And let me go ahead. Thank you so much for that comment, Sliver on me. So let's continue onward. So, yeah, I'll just put this on since some of you were talking about it. There you go. Does this look good or what? It's coming. I don't need to hear from the Hot Toys wizard on this one. It's coming, and it'll also fill a void. For sure. All right, let's take a look at this. Putting this up onto the screen. Here you go. How is the 40th anniversary of Darth Vader doing? It has leveled off, but it hit the spot that I predicted that it would. It has some ebbs and flows, and now it's kind of risen after it sunk up, down, now leveled off. You can see back here from August 22 with 53 bids, $339.65, so $340, not including shipping and not including taxes. And seller with very good feedback, all 100%. Let's go ahead and go with some more. And let me pull this up on the screen. And that might be the same one I just pulled up here. And it was, let me go to a different one here and pull this Vader 40th anniversary up. And you can see back here from September 3rd, $338.31, 25 cents shipping. Probably add the $5 to that, $342. Again, where is this sitting within the market value chart? Let's actually go to it. This figure has leveled off, but it's amazing with a reissue where this is sitting at already, because it was in stock for a few months. We put in Vader, see if everything comes up Vader here. And here's your Darth Vader MMS 572, waitlist open. Yeah, 350 and steady. Again, which means that you're getting, sometimes it's selling lower 300s, and sometimes it's selling upper 300s. It sells both ways. Again, patience. One of the keys to this episode is patience. And every time we seem like we want to exercise patience with bidding or with that, whatever, did you hear? Oh, I just picked this up for this price, or I picked it up for this price. And then you go find that, and then it seems like it never happens. Again, the reason why they call the hunt sometimes in this collecting community, in anything you collect, is because there is a hunt. Enjoy the hunt. Don't be so anxious that you have to get it. If you enjoy the hunt and you're willing to take that time, you'll enjoy this so much better, and you will find deals. I promise you. I promise. It does happen. Let's go ahead and bring up, again, here's Attack of the Clones Yoda, which another reissue. And you could look back in here, and this was just from September 3rd. $380.99 for an Attack of the Clones Yoda MMS 495. So that's on the higher end. And then you can pull up another Yoda and pull in this Attack of the Clones Yoda up. You can see from September 3rd with 14 bids, $315. And you can kind of add $5 to it, $320, not including the shipping, $20 and the taxes. So again, and if you go to the market value chart, let's see exactly where, this Attack of the Clones Yoda is. And again, just type in the word Yoda and you should get the two Yodas that are up here. And Attack of the Clones Yoda is steady at $340. That's where it is right now. The Attack of the Clones Yoda, $340 and steady. So again, when you're looking at some of these values in the market value chart or wherever you get your values, there's a reason for an average. An average indicates sometimes you're going to get a base hit and sometimes you're going to strike out or you're going to ground out, right? It's an average. When you understand that it's an average, you can then start to understand that that means I might get it at 300. I might get it at 380. I'd rather get it at 300. Well, if you'd rather get it at 300, guess what you have to exercise? Patience. That's what Obi-Wan told Luke. Patience. I can't get their visions out of my head. I've got to go to Bespin. Find what you have learned. Save you a can. Oh, God, I love Star Wars. Actually get live right on. Welcome, Colin Paris. And welcome everybody who's in here. Look, this is great. 95 in here on Labor Day. Early in the afternoon, impromptu stream. Please hit that like button. Smash that like button. Much appreciated. And I hope you're having a great Labor Day weekend. And I hope you're having a great Labor Day. Again, for some of you that are coming in here late, I usually do my pre-recorded videos. I said it'd be fun. Let's try and do an actual market outlook live with no editing. And here you go. So I think I'll do this every once in a while. Maybe we got some holidays. Like I said, I have stuff with the family to do this later this afternoon and tonight. I figured this would be great. Wow. All right, let's continue up here with going with that. And so you can see what's going on with that Yoda. Again, it's an average. And here's the other interesting thing. Those are both reissues. They're reissues. The Darth Vader I was just showing you is a reissue. The Yoda I was just showing you is a reissue. And these are very upper echelon characters. Again, the Mud Trooper may not be as popular of a character, even with Star Wars hot and blue skies for them to reissue, and you got to take that into account. When they reissue, it's like, oh, they're going to reissue like the Krennic. Well, if they use Orson Krennic again, I can see that. If he doesn't come up in any content, I don't know if that's going to be the priority over, the Ewan McGregor Obi-Wan. So you have to kind of put a lot of different things into play. Now, certainly if the actor appears again, sure. Or is it a new version? Depending on how they are in that film. Maybe if they do put Orson Krennic back up again, maybe as a different outfit, maybe a different stripe, well, then all of a sudden you're going to have a different issue. Then you're talking about, well, it's going to fill the void. Like for me, I'm going to pick up whatever Krennic they put out, and I'll be like, yay. And if it's slightly different or a different badge or slightly different hair, I'm not going to need the other one. That's probably going to even go up higher. So there's a lot of variables. It's like, wow, that's a lot. That's a whole lot of areas. That's like you're saying to look here. You're saying to point here. You're saying to think this. It's a lot. And it's all just speculation, right? But speculation based on actual facts that are going on within the secondary market for Star Wars hot toys. But even then, you just really don't know. You don't know. But it's very, very interesting. And putting this up on the screen, where is this? Boston Collectors. I hate hearing people still not getting IG-11. Well, not everybody's going to get any figures. Very interested with that figure. For sure. I'm very interested to see how it performs or how long it's going to be in stock, or if it gets in stock. It's still up in pre-order, right? Very, very strange. I feel like that review came out like last year. I feel like it did. Wow, wow, wow. Wow, wow, wow. I'm looking at some of these comments over here. We've got JB Collection in the house. JB Collection. Dark Jedi, no, that's impossible, Aries. Come back. I sense the conflict in you. Let go of your hate. There's still... Where did I go? Did I leave? Did I get a glitch? Someone let me know in there. If I was speaking and I kind of wasn't logged in, let me know. But good to have JB in the house. If you haven't checked out her channel, we're going to get her on one of these. We tried before. It doesn't work out. Hasn't worked out with how busy everyone is, but eventually she'll get on one of the panels here. Looking forward to that. But check out her channel. It's a really good channel. What is this here? Is this brand new? IG-11 went on waitlist, and he went up for like a solid 36 hours and back down when they put him back on PO. LOL. Look, we're going to have to see what happens with that figure. And here's another one here from the Big Daddy. The Big Daddy 64 is in the house. What's going on, my friend? No one is talking about Django. Well, I've been talking about Django. Is it possible that we get Django Fett officially, the official production photos before the end of the year? Still no word from the Hot Toys Wizard. The chances of him surviving this Labor Day are approximately 7,720 to 1. Anyway, he'll call soon, but I do think that Django is going to be coming out, a potential to be officially to come out with a final production photo. That Django is another one. How well is that going to do? Forget about it. And plus with all the Mandalorian stuff, and how many times did Boba Fett mention Django? My father Django? Can't wait for that figure. Cannot wait for that figure. Link, $21.95. I'm excited for Django. That was a first day pre-order. You're not kidding. Wow. JB Collection. I think the Wizard is resting today. It's Labor Day. LOL. Yeah, the Wizard is like work, right? ND and Sith. I need Django. I need it too. My friends, for sure. For absolute sure. But yeah, those are reissues. The Attack of the Clones Yoda and Darth Vader. And you see where they were sitting in the secondary market. So now you have to wonder. Now you have to wonder. Are they going to go ahead and reissue a third time the Empire Strikes Back Darth Vader? Or has Hot Toys milked all the A New Hope and Empire Strikes Back Vaders and the Rogue One Vaders that they're going to at this point? And when you look at the secondary market trends, does it point to, when it comes to Darth Vader and Hot Toys looking at where can we make the most money? And so if you're Hot Toys, you're like, if we reissue the 40th anniversary of Darth Vader, versus if we come out with a Return of the Jedi Vader, which is not much more to do, just the front of the face, which they have with the quarter scale. Is that going to make them more bang for their buck? Or is reissuing the Empire Strikes Back one? So pulling this up onto the screen, these are otherwise pretty easy predictions as well, in my view anyway. So pulling this up. And to me, this is a no-brainer, ladies and gentlemen. They already have this in quarter scale. And to put this out in 6 scale would be absolutely epic. And they basically have most of this done with the quarter scale version. And really putting the breadcrumbs together. You got a lot of new collectors coming into Hot Toys. There's not a Darth Vader right now that's up for pre-order. And one of the first figures that anyone gets when they're coming into a Star Wars collection, one of the first figures is Darth Vader. Everybody wants a Darth Vader within their collection, or most anyway. It's one of the most beloved and iconic characters, not only in Star Wars, but in anything that's ever come out. Ever. Darth Vader. And you have to wonder, how long is Hot Toys going to go where the only Darth Vader up for pre-order is sideshows? And I would venture to guess, not very long indeed. And is it possible that we get a reissue of like a New Hope Darth Vader, maybe a Rogue One Darth Vader, maybe a Empire Strikes Back Darth Vader? Sure. But I really think that this is the next step. I think it's just about almost done. And I think that this is going to be forthcoming. I still believe with everything that I've got, before the end of this year, you are going to get, and to me, it's not going to be a surprise, but I'll spill a lot of coffee with it. You're going to get this officially announced. And when you look at how it's doing in the secondary market, how the reissue went, look, if they would have put this out, and then they tried to reissue the Empire Strikes Back Vader, let's just be frank, it wouldn't have sold as well. But now that the Empire Strikes Back Vader is gone, now you could focus on this. And rather than doing a third rise of this Empire Strikes Back version, this is the one they're going to come out with. That's my call. And whatever they come out with in the Kenobi series, sure, is it possible they just focus on that? Sure. But I think that this is iconic, and the original trilogy is hot. And I'm just going to say this. Look, I'm interested in everything they're going to do, Hayden Christensen-wise, and I'm going to get the Vader. But the Hayden Christensen head sculpt's not going to go with Han. It's not going to go with my Stormtrooper Han. It's not going to go with my Endor Luke, my Endor. It's just not going to go with them. I need this one. So this one's not going to not sell. And if you're wondering, well, look what's going on with the OT figures. And don't think they won't put up 2 at once. Well, what makes you say that, Aries? How long have I told you all that they were going to come out with the Mandalorian Ahsoka? Well before the Ahsoka series. But the Clone Wars one is up. Don't matter. And I love Ahsoka, but she's not as hot as Darth Vader. The only one character that's hotter than Darth Vader is Luke Skywalker. And I guess the Mandalorian right now. But anyway, that's my call. That's my call with this for sure. So, and you look at those market trends with that. And let's go to, and here's another one. Look, are they going to go ahead and reissue for the 3rd time Attack of the Clones Yoda? Or, and I don't think it'll look like this, but you already have a hologram of this figure that comes with Anakin. The Clone Wars Anakin, there's a hologram. A hologram of who, Aries? Another one that I'm predicting is they come out with some type of Yoda from the Clone Wars. They're going to call it a Clone Wars Yoda, and you're probably going to get the same sculpt that you have had with the Attack of the Clones Yoda in some way. Probably different, a little bit differences here or there. It's going to be very interesting how they do it. But this is another figure. And a lot of people have talked about Dooku. Will they reissue Dooku that way? I don't know. I don't know if that's the Clone Wars character. Maybe. I would see Yoda before then. Maybe. I don't know. It'd be very, very interesting. But I do think that this is coming. Let me sip some coffee. I have to throw a couple of these in there because it's doing well with the secondary market. Could they just reissue another Yoda? Or can they actually come out with a Yoda that says Revenge of the Sith or Clone Wars? And I think that's probably the more likely scenario than just getting, again, the Attack of the Clones Yoda, to be real. Single songwriter. Clone Wars Yoda. Yeah. Jonathan, take my buddy. Yeah. Yeah. 2023 is the 40th anniversary for Return of the Jedi at Hot Toys Nose. Yep. JB Collection. I hope they do some show promos with the Obi-Wan coming. Yep. Me too. Indian Sith. I was told by a Hong Kong dealer that Ahsoka, Dark Trooper, Tank Commander, and Moff Gideon are shipping in the next 30 days. Wow. Well, that would absolutely blow me away if that's true there, NDN Sith. Wow. That would be a real interesting. There seems to be a lot of rumors out there right now on what's going on. J-Rex Entertainment. Vader Kenobi is going to sell like hotcakes if made. You ain't kidding. You ain't kidding for sure. Wow. Very interesting. Reliable source. Okay, Indian Sith. I'll take your word for that. Wow. I'm going to be very interested. I'm going to keep an eye on that. I do feel that there's something brewing with Hot Toys. Not only that certain figures that we're not expecting are going to be, the final production photos are going to come out. It's going to ship earlier than anticipated. I do sense that. But I also sense, you've got like the Axe Woves and the Casca Reeves and the Cobb Vanth and the Battle Droid and the Super Battle Droid. And you got, Padme and Obi-Wan, and you got Fennec, and putting Fennec aside because that's definitely going to come out. I feel like that there's something kind of like how that Lando this time last year came out of nowhere. Here's Lando. Like, whoa, like September, October, whenever that came out. There's going to be something that we're not expecting, like we weren't expecting that. And maybe it would be a Grievous. Maybe it would be a Mace. Maybe it would be that Return of the Jedi Darth Vader. Maybe it would be an Endor Han. Look, 98 in here. Please hit that like button. Here's something you all would like. You want to spill some coffee? Let me pull this up onto the screen. And you're all going to get a sense. You see what's up? Let's take a good look at this. Let's take a good look at this picture. You all see this? Yeah. Here's the thing. They gave us an Endor Luke. A deluxe and non-deluxe, right? They gave us an Endor Leia. A 2-pack set with Wicket and Wicket by itself and Leia by herself, correct? They're giving you a Scout Trooper from Endor, aren't they? By itself and with the speeder bike, aren't they? Is it possible that the Bespin Han we've been looking for, you're actually going to get this Han? And I've mentioned it before, that the Endor Han, the outfit, more closely resembles in every way the outfit from A New Hope. This would be the easiest version for them to go ahead and come out with. And with everything that they're coming out with Endor, is it possible? I talked at the beginning of the program. How well is that Han and Chewbacca from A New Hope doing? It is doing so well. And I didn't bring up how well the Han Solo and Chewbacca from The Force Awakens is doing in the secondary market. That set is killing it right now. It's going to start creeping up the $600 tier range. Is it possible that that set will go into the $700 tier range? It will. You think Hot Toys doesn't see that? That's happened with controversial sequel figures. You don't think that they would think, and they see in the Han and Chewie, that they wouldn't throw an Endor Han and Chewie out there? Doesn't make much sense to do an Empire Strikes Back Han and Chewie, especially since you would probably, if you're going to do a 2-pack, you would do from Empire Strikes Back. Just do the Hoth Han and Tauntaun. I mentioned Tauntaun and Hoth Han, didn't I? Or do the C-3PO and Chewbacca 2-pack. That's what you're going to do. If you're going to do a 2-pack for Return of the Jedi, you're going to do Han and Chewbacca. This would not shock me at all. They just came out with an Endor Scout Trooper. You already got the Luke. You already got the Leia. Give me this, baby. You already got the Emperor. I just need the Return of the Jedi Vader. Didn't I mention that just a little bit ago? Anybody spilling any coffee? We will see Lobot before Han. How good do you guys think the Lobot would do with Lando out there? Boy, it'd be great. It'd be great, Darth Drez. You give us C-3PO with that Ewok's throne. I'd take that chair, baby. That would be great. Doc Swizel. Howard doesn't hate making money. Look, and I'm going to say this. I don't know if anybody even said this, but I've heard it said before. And you got to understand it's a new age. I understand that some people might not care about these in Hong Kong. But Hot Toys is making all their money outside of Hong Kong now. That's where they want to make their money. This is what's selling. So they're going to sell what's going to sell. If it's going to sell, they're going to buy it. They're going to sell it. Doesn't matter where it sells. You can sell on planet Telboria, baby, which is where the Dark Jedi, Ares Tarrington, is from. Even though right now I reside at planet Tatooine. If you follow my Instagram. It's like 7.2 light years. So I don't know what it says in there. I don't know. It's very interesting. Barrett, I will take any Han at this point. You ain't kidding, baby. Darth Drez, I think Howard hates Harrison. Who knows? It's possible. You might be right. Endor Han and Ewok. I love that whole scene. You're making me think back, Dorikas, of why don't you just use your divine influence and get us out of this? Proper. Oh my God, I gotta go watch that again. I think I'm gonna watch that later today. Return of the Jedi. Wow. Dorikas, coffee spill. Darth Drez, you want Bail Organa? Listen, Jimmy Smits is coming. I love to talk about this because you know it's going to happen. You can just tell. I mean, go look at Jimmy Smits' history. Disney content coming up. You need an anchor for a show. Call Jimmy Smits. He's going to come on. You see the figure already. It's going to happen. It's going to happen just because of that. Because they're going to use him on future content. So, not so much wizardry. I can't believe this will happen. It'll happen because they're going to use him. They're going to use Jimmy Smits. Come on. OG fan is in the house. Just give me Fennec Shand pre-order already. Look, I predict that one. No, I'm not surprised it didn't come out yet. I mean, a little bit part of me. Probably first week of October. Second week. First half of October, you're going to see that as we're getting really close to the debut of the Book of Boba Fett. Certainly going to come out before the Book of Boba Fett. Is it possible tomorrow? Is it possible this week? Next week? Sure. I think they're going to hold that one till about the first half of October. And the hype of the Book of Boba Fett is going to be really real by then, OG fan. Then you're going to see that figure is going to take the throne, which was up for a month, number one, right? But I told you it was going to come down. You're going to see that throne rise up. You're also going to see the other two Bobas rise up. And then you're going to have all the marketing hype for the Book of Boba Fett. And those figures are going to ride with Fennec. That's what's going to happen. Expect to see, if not sooner, first half of October for Fennec Shand. It's going to come. For sure. For sure, for sure, for sure. Jonathan Napolitano. Honest question, though. Why no 3PO yet? Just curious to hear theories. Why no 3PO yet? You know, I think that we're waiting for Star Wars to be hot. Let's take this into. Let me give you my theory. This is a great question, Jonathan. Before COVID, you really had the sequel controversy, okay? And Mandalorian was coming onto the scene. Then you had COVID. And so a lot of production concerns with that. And I think that Hot Toys was like, look, in an environment where we can't even sell a dark side Anakin, in an environment where we can't sell an Emperor on the throne, we're not coming out with this figure. Then all of a sudden, now you're coming out of COVID a little bit, and now you've got blue skies, and now Star Wars is hot. Is it possible that now is the time where Hot Toys would feel comfortable about coming out with a C-3PO figure? And I say yes. That is why I firmly believe that one of the surprises we're going to get, and it's going to come out of nowhere. They're not going to tease this, and I know that they teased the one with the red arm, but this is going to come out of left field. But you could expect any day, and either this year or sometimes next year. And still no word from the Hot Toys wizard. The chances of him giving me a call on Labor Day were approximately 7,320, whatever that number is, to 1. Although the Hot Toys wizard has been known to make mistakes from time to time. Dear, oh dear. Anyway, C-3PO's coming. I think now's the time to answer your question. Great question. Great question on that. For sure. 3, The Deputy. I think C-3PO, Bespin Han, and Mace Windu are the most long overdue figures. It's just straight bizarre that they haven't been made yet. Yep. And for some reason, I got that hunch, The Deputy, that actually the Endor Han is even more real than a Bespin Han at this point. Or even I actually see a Hoth Han. I don't know why. I definitely see the Endor. I just feel like that they're on that track with the Endor stuff. And I also feel like the Return of the Jedi anniversary is coming. I think all that put together is why I'm feeling that. I'm not quite sure, but this is what I sense. Maybe it's my dark Jedi-ness. Star Killer, I'll take those odds. Jonathan, thanks, Aries. I got it predicted. Yes. Yes, it is 3,720 to 1. And I knew that going on in my head. I'm just so into this show. Successfully predicting the Hot Toys wizard or navigating an asteroid field. LOL. Have you all been enjoying this on Labor Day weekend? I hope this is a great surprise, and has been a great surprise for all of you. It certainly was a lot of fun for me to do the Market Outlook edition of the Market Value Chart Show live, for sure. So I hope you've been enjoying this. And we're getting close to closing this out because I got to get on with a couple of things that I have to do, and I'm sure many of you do as well. But I just want to say thank you so much for coming in. Let's go to a couple other things before we close. And I'm just going to bring this up. Okay. I got to bring this up. Close out the Market Outlook edition. And let me pull this up higher on the screen. Or larger on the screen, excuse me. And here you go. How's Cody doing? It just continues to sell either more times than not at 400 or above high 450. It's starting to sell now in the close to 500s. It's not there. But look, you could just see back from September 5th, $400 at 18 bids. Great feedback, over 2,700. And again, the story of this show, you try to exercise patience with this figure, but it's really hard not to get it. It's going to be a $400 figure most of the time. Of course, you could look at the buy sell groups, but when you put in Cody in here, just saying, you see that the value right now is $416 and trending up. Commander Cody, which they didn't make too little of. It was pretty up there at the top 10 for a while, like I've been pointing out, just like the Attack of the Clones Yoda, or more, not so much that one, but the Empire Strikes Back Yoda. Darth Vader for sure, and that Boba Fett for sure. So that means it sells over 416 and right under it, but that's the average right now and trending up. This figure is insanity, and I'm just going to bring this up over here. I bring it up a lot, and I have him on the banner. I don't care how many of these they make. There's going to be people that are going to buy multiple of this figure. And in my opinion, when it comes to Captain Rex, and with all those 501sts right now, I believe that you're going to get more people that are going to buy multiples of Rex than they did Cody. Just being honest with you. I think for a lot of people that are into the prequels and not so much into the Clone Wars, you're going to pick up one Cody. And I think for this particular figure, you're going to get a ton of people that are going to get multiples of this. And I just think that this is so hot. And this is absolutely a yellow alert, this particular figure. Now, I'm just saying with this Rex, and I can't wait to get this Rex, but I'm telling you right now, don't think that this figure is just going to sit in there. This is a figure that so many people have been looking forward to, and the first Clone Wars figure to be announced. And for everybody that's, really, excited about all these Clone Wars figures. And here's Ahsoka Tano. I'm bringing this up onto the screen. And, when I was on Geeking Out yesterday, one of the news that Nate had was that he was getting from his sources. And was that he was hearing that it's possible that this figure was going to come out before Rex. Look, this is another figure where it's going to be so highly sought after. And how is that Rex and how is this Ahsoka going to do in the secondary market? You're not going to have, Commander Cody or Captain Rex go really, really high and have a Clone Wars Ahsoka that's going to be a bottom feeder. It's just not going to happen. And they're not going to make as many of these, I've said it before, as they were originally going to make. And they want to get this out now well ahead of the Mandalorian, the Rosario Dawson Ahsoka for sure. So there's a lot of reasons why for that. So just saying, I love being able to flash on the Rex and this Cody. And then the other one here I want to point out, it's going to go. It's going to go. And we brought up the Incinerator Trooper, the Death Trooper, and the Revenant Trooper before. I'm just saying, this figure, it's going to go fast. If you didn't get it yet and you want this figure, don't sleep on it. Look, hit that like button if you haven't yet. I so appreciate it. Let's smash that like button on Labor Day. I really appreciate it. And how many of you have not subscribed to 6 Scale Cantina? Go ahead and subscribe to the channel. I so very much appreciate your support for sure. I hope a lot of you had fun. Did you guys have fun in here today? Did you guys have fun? I hope you enjoy the rest of your Labor Day. I hope you have a great rest of your Labor Day weekend. We will absolutely do this again. Okay? And I got the next Live and Raw is going to be coming very, very soon. So get ready for that. And I'm going to try to, this next Live and Raw, I'm going to try to have Nate from Geeking Out in there too as a guest for Live and Raw. That'll be a lot of fun. Anyway, have a great Labor Day weekend. That's about all I got. I hope you enjoyed this. I enjoyed it. Remember, I don't always buy coffee out, but when I do, I buy from 6 Scale Cantina. Stay thirsty, my friends. Happy Labor Day. We'll see you. Been fun.